is Rocket League,
Rocket
Jackson?
League is an interesting one, actually. I love this game, and Rocket
Suck
League
at this game.
This weekend have the Universal Open. So Rocket League is a competitive sports game, basically, where instead it's a soccer game, but instead of people, you use cars. You can see it playing behind us. It's all about really fine control and understanding the physics of how the ball moves around the court. It's actually just one of the most impressive, I guess, spectacles when you can see how people juggle the ball, how people score goals. It's just a really impressive video game for competitive play. So yeah, they've got the Universal Open. That's this weekend, and it's an interesting one, the Universal Open, because the Universal Open is actually sponsored by CBS in the USA. So CBS have sort of like an agreement with these guys. They'll be broadcasting it on the weekend in the US, and CBS wanted to put this competition together around 2 versus 2, which is not traditionally Rocket League's forte. But you wanting to jump in here, mate?
It's NBC.
NBC, sorry, CBN. Are they the same?
CNN. It's all fake.
They're all the same ball. Bloody anagram. But no one's watching.
But yeah, so so it is a major TV network that's driving the competition, and there's $100,000 prize money, so quite a significant amount of cash on the table, and it's being broadcast live via Twitch this weekend, so you can see it Sunday morning. So I think it's really interesting because we've talked on here about the different esports leagues that are emerging, and I don't know enough about the background of the Universal Open to know kind of how long it's been running and that kind of thing.
Well, it's only very recent. So,
very recent.
So
I think
NBC, not CBN, NBC basically said, like, they went to Psyonix, who are the developers of Rocket League, and said, like, look, we want to put something together. And Psyonix actually said to them, we want to do something around 2 versus 2. Yeah. Now, a lot of competitive leagues, like DreamHack, which is a big esports tournament, they do 3 versus 3. Yeah. And there's a whole different range of tactics.
Your regular Rocket League is 3 versus 3, isn't it?
Yeah, or you can do 1 to 3.
Yeah. Or 4v4.
I don't think you have 4, can you?
Yeah.
Man, that's an update that I haven't seen, Milky. Let me tell you.
You can play 4v4.
Anyway, 3 vs 3 was the sweet spot. Now it's 2v2 in the Universal Open. So that was a big sticking point originally for NBC and Psyonix. Psyonix said we just wanted 2 versus 2. So that's the cool thing about this comp. A lot of pros were like, I don't want to play 2 versus 2 because it changes the way the game plays.
Yeah.
You can't have someone that sweeps back in front of the goal. You can't have someone, you can't have a lot of juggle plays from one end to the other, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, but it looks like it's been successful enough. It was only US and Canada and Europe, I believe, that had the chance to participate. But it is the finals this weekend. As you said, it's a huge prize pool.
Yeah, no, it's good to see. And, we've talked on here about esports and which one will crack it with the mainstream. And
yes.
I read a really good piece on IGN by Joe Gilroy where he talks about the Rocket League competition and how he believes that Rocket League will be the one to crack the mainstream because it's something that you can actually pick up and play. Even though I'm absolutely dreadful at it, it's not like soccer or football in that you do need a little more skill than if you're playing FIFA, for example. But it's also something that low barrier to entry, but a deceptively high threshold for mastery, which is how Joe put it. And I think that's a really good summation of it. It's something you could turn on, and it's how we've described the leagues on this show. The ones that will be successful are the ones where you can turn it on, you can see what's happening, you can work out what's going on, and if you wanted to, you can actually pick it up and play it and understand the game. And yeah, so I agree that I think it'll be great. It'll be interesting to see how it rolls out on Sunday morning. One other thing that I'm really interested in is looking at how this show will be broadcast on Sunday morning around the same time that the Conor McGregor-Mayweather fight is on, which is another sporting spectacle. And just looking at 2 sporting spectacles running at a similar time and just see how they compare in terms of viewership and it'll give you a real kind of idea of how those 2 things match up.
Well, yeah, I can tell you right now they won't compare whatsoever. Yeah. I think it's the fact that you just brought that up just reminded me that it is on this weekend. the Universal Open, no one's going to watch it. I'm sorry, NBC. I'm sorry. Like there'll be a few people on Twitch, maybe 20,000 or something, but it's going to be dwarfed by what is one of the that's complete different level of.
No,
sport.
I'm fully aware. Like this is the fight of the century.
Yeah.
But it is a sporting spectacle on at the same time as this. I just like it when you have as many comparable variables as you can. As
Yeah.
a scientist, Jackson, I know you appreciate that.
No, I
as
really
well.
like the fact that you want to see how it stacks up, I guess, again.
Yeah.
Literally what will be probably the biggest viewership for a boxing match that's ever occurred.
Yeah.
So it will be quite interesting to see that. And I think that's a good thing to look at. I also am interested about things like Rocket League's. I know Job has mentioned how it's easier barrier to entry. It's a sports game, basically. And it's very clear, two sides, very clear. Ball has to go in a hole for it. So it's like a competitive sport that exists in the real world. So is he suggesting that that would be the way to go to get people involved, just because they already know?
Well, it's quite a detailed story, so I don't want to kind of like paraphrase on his behalf. But it's just that it's something that you can follow what's going on. Right? You can tune in. I mean, it's playing behind us. If you're not familiar with it, you can watch the trailers, you can watch the gameplay, and pretty much anyone, like you said, like the contest is easy to understand.
Yeah.
So I think that is a key point for penetration into the mainstream. And Job talks about, the hardcore esports like Dota and League of Legends will always be there because they've got their audiences and they've got, very, very sophisticated leagues and things set up to continue that, which is great. But if you want to penetrate into the mainstream, it needs to be something that someone, that my mum, if you're watching, hi mum, could tune in and watch it and she could know what's going on.
Well, Milky, then if it's like a real sport and you can tune in, why wouldn't something like FIFA or Madden be a game that becomes the entry for people to watch esports?
Because people already watch football, American football and European
So you think
football,
that because people watch them in real life that they would have no interest to watch the best players play them digitally?
Yeah.
Okay.
And because you're playing as Messi and Ronaldo digitally, or like in game, but you can watch those guys and their actual talents.
Yeah.
So I actually watched the Madden Championship because I am an avid American football fan, and this Sunday morning I'm actually having my fantasy football draft. So I won't be able to tune into the Overwatch to the Rocket League
Universal
tournament.
Open, yep.
But I actually tune into the Madden Ultimate Team competition, and what you can do in that is you can actually construct your ultimate fantasy team of players. So I can have Tom Brady throwing it to Julio Jones, and with playing up against Richard Sherman and the best picking your ultimate pro team regardless of where they come from, because you can compile that ultimate team yourself. So there's definitely I would still much rather watch a game of NFL. I'd still much rather watch the Patriots destroy the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl again. But
there's an element of what if this happened.
Right.
But you're also you're already a traditional sports fan. So what about people that don't traditionally follow a team? Like, why couldn't they watch FIFA and be like, wow, these players are really skilled at this video game, which I play. Like, people play FIFA without actually liking soccer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So I just...
Yeah, I'm not a fan of soccer, but I definitely play FIFA.
Yeah, and it's just like FIFA is this real competitive, very, I don't know, bro style game. Like you always hear about, the boys go and play FIFA.
The demographic that comes into the store to play FIFA.
Yeah.
Very broski.
That's
very
what I mean.
broski.
So, but, and women obviously play FIFA as well, and probably
Yes.
much better than I can. But that whole idea to me seems silly, that if you can take something that is soccer with cars and not soccer with real people, and the skill levels I would say are comparable. Rocket League has a little bit more finesse and it looks a little bit more finessed, but
could you imagine? You can't. You could attempt to do this in real life.
Yeah.
Cars with a massive
Maybe that's the
soccer
next
ball.
thing.
All right, Channel 10, sign us up. We're going to...
maybe that's the next thing. think that's where we're at.
Maybe.
Well, they do. Rocket League do a really good job of introducing classic cars. Like when they had the DeLorean in there, and they've got classic cars from film as another popular culture that they put in there. Like
Yeah. And it's coming to the Switch, of course, as well. So they'll be adding a lot of Mario, Luigi, Samus cars to the Switch version. Rocket League on the Switch, actually, I'm pretty excited for.
Yeah.
But that is all we have time for this week. Sorry that we were a little bit late today, guys. But we still had a good time.
we did.
What are you playing this weekend, Bo?
I'm playing a really obscure game. It's called. It's the sequel to a game I played many years ago called Planescape Torment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Very successful game. Very
was.
deep
Yeah.
RPG.
Yeah. So the sequel, Tides of Numenera.
Yeah.
Numeria?
Another guy called Red Artifice on Twitter who would love to hear that.
Yeah.
Milky, yourself?
I am playing an IRL game called Running Errands and doing things in preparation for my fortnight, that's 2 weeks for everyone in the States, of being a part of the Twitch Grassroots program. So from the 28th of August to the 10th of
I am
September.
playing nothing actually this week, and I finished Uncharted Lost Legacy a couple of days ago, and it's well worth checking out. But I've got lots of things on, like the Adelaide Crows Football Club's final game of the season. If you follow the Crows, tweet me at Dr. Jack, and I'll speak to you on Twitter soon. Thanks for watching that gaming show this week, guys. Sorry we were late, but we'll be back next week, 8 o'clock, Facebook Live.
See you then.